Coach Daniel here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to replace a leather grip. So a lot of vintage rackets, I don't know if some of you guys are into collecting or playing still with rackets that have leather grips, but it's a different process than replacing some of the other more modern replacement grips. So that may not have adhesive on the back. So today we're going to be showing you how you can replace your leather grip. All right, so today we're going to be replacing the leather grip here on this St. Vincent Pro Staff. So this was a fairway leather grip. This was the model that came stock on these grips for many years. And so I'm going to be replacing it with a brand new fairway leather grip. You can still get these. They've been making grips now for a long time. There are other leather grips that you can purchase. Wilson, Babolat, Gamma, even Turner, they all make leather grips if that's the feel that you like. So it doesn't have to necessarily be on a vintage racket. A lot of people are still using those on their modern rackets. So let's go over what you're going to need, because replacing a leather grip can be a little bit more tricky, a little bit more difficult than just a normal replacement grip. So you may not always need all these tools, but I highly suggest having these tools on hand in case you do need them. So the first thing that you're going to need is you're going to want a pair of pliers. I like some flat nose pliers. I also have these are very handy with stringing and other applications with rackets, is a bent needle nose plier. You're also going to want a good pair of scissors. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of these titanium scissors. These cut through about anything. You need to have scissors. You're going to have a very small, flat, straight blade screwdriver. Most leather grips are stapled to the butt cap, and so you're going to want to be able to use this and your pliers to help get that staple out. The fairway leather grips, the new ones, do not have adhesive on the back. A lot of the leather grips don't have adhesive, maybe yours does, but if you don't have adhesive on the back of your grip, you're going to want some double-sided stick tape. You're going to need a hammer. So you can also use a staple gun, but I'm not a huge fan of putting new holes into a vintage racket, so I'm going to try to put the staple back into the original holes, and so I'm going to need something to help press the staple in. And then finally, you're going to need some grip tape if your leather grip does not come with grip tape. The fairway leather grips do not come with grip tape. So I've got some black grip tape here, and I'm going to be using that in about 3/8 inch width grip tape. So those are the tools that you're going to need. So let's get to it. Let me show you how to do it. So after you're able to get your staple out, if you can reuse it, you may want to try to. That way it'll go back into the original hole. But you may have to use another staple, or depending on the grip that you've purchased, it may have an adhesive place where the taper begins, and you might be able to just do that. But you do want to make sure that you do have your leather grip secured to the racket, so that way it's not going to move around. So I'm going to get my grip out now, and there are some instructions and some history about the fairway leather grip with this. Again, there's no grip tape or adhesive on this. It's just a pure leather band. So I'm going to go ahead now. I'm going to start. I like to start the taper on the corner, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to take this around, and I'm going to see where the original staple holes were. All right, so I'm going to see where those holes are there, and I'm going to take some of my double-sided stick tape. So after I get it lined up to where I want it to go, and I'm going to use this to help me start the grip, and I'm going to put it back, not where I'm going to put the staple in. I'm going to put it back here just a little bit further back. Get it lined up. So after I get a little piece of double stick tape to just kind of help hold this, I'm going to put the start of the tape there, and then you can see where the staple is going to go. Now this could be a little tricky, is getting the staple back into the original hole and going through the new leather tape or leather grip. So that's where I'm going to put my racket down on the table. I'm going to try to line these holes up. Now again, if you have a staple gun, you can just shoot the new staple in there. But this again being a vintage racket, I'm going to very carefully try to use the holes that are already there. All right, so I'm going to start it there with my double-sided tape. Then I'm going to try to get the staple back into the original holes. Again, using my vintage racket, I don't really want to put more holes into the grip, into the butt cap if I have to. And I'm going to gently now tap the staple back into the hole. If it starts to bend out, just take your pliers, just kind of reshape your, and use your pliers also to help push it through. And so the tricky part's getting it to start through the leather. Hopefully this will kind of push it back in. If you have a staple gun, again, you can use that. So you just want to be careful and work. You want to work this staple back down. Eventually you're going to get it to a point where it's going to be pretty flat. And that's where if it, at this point, if the staple kind of spreads out, it's not going to be that big of a deal because it's going to be down there pretty flat. All right, so after I get the staple in, I'm going to continue, and I'm going to keep working the grip up, okay? And so when I get around to this other side, this is where my double-sided stick tape is going to come in handy. And so what I want to do is I want to cut a little piece that's going to match up to the butt cap. I'm going to go ahead and put that on this side. And so that's going to help hold that on there. All right, now I'm back around to where I was, and again, I want to make careful to get around the staple. And you want to, again, you want to pull the leather firmly, but not break it. And this is one part where I do want to make sure that I overlap to get over the, if you can feel the staple, then what you may want to do is go back and try to get it hammer down a little flatter, and then go back around. So again, I'm being extra careful with this racket, guys, since it is a vintage racket. You can see it still has the made in sticker, which these are very rare. So I'm being extra careful. And now once I start getting past the staple, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it down. That's going to kind of hold it. I'm going to take my double-sided stick tape, and I'm going to tear longer pieces, and I'm going to put those on the handle, on the foam. And some of this foam is not very receptive to adhesive. Some of that foam, the tape will just fall right off. So again, once you get it on there, you don't want to touch it very much. Hopefully it will stay. Once you get the grip going, the pressure should also hold itself on. But you can see how the grip tape's not even wanting to stick to it. Let's put it on this other side. As long as I get some tape underneath, it's going to help. You can see that this older foam, again, it's not very receptive. So the main thing that's going to be holding this is your tension that you're putting the grip under. That's why it's important to have a staple on some of these older rackets. We'll try actually to clear off some of that old adhesive. That did the trick. All right, so now let's go back to working my grip on. So I'm going to try to overlap just a little bit at the beginning. Then with steady pressure. So again on the butt cap area, I need to barely overlap. But then once I get past the butt cap, I don't want to overlap as much. I want to put the grip just right up against itself. You can see I'm applying pretty constant pressure. So I'm just kind of working the grip to make sure that I'm getting it right where I want it. Here comes the iconic Fairway leather grip logo. This grip is in the 3/4 inch size. Now when I get to the top of the grip, again I'm going to start pulling pretty good. All right, so after you get the grip to the top, what you're going to do is you want to see where the grip's going to come around. And so I'm going to mark that with my finger right there. And now I'm going to unwind the grip to there. And I'm going to cut a straight line to this corner. Now, I'm going to use my scissors. I'm going to set the racket down. I'm going to carefully cut. To the corner. Back and make sure my grip matches up where I want it to go. I'm mainly just looking for, if it doesn't go all the way past the foam, that's fine. You mainly just want to have a flat and even ending there to your grip. All right, so now that I got the grip to the end there, I'm going to take my grip tape. I'm going to make sure my first pass I want to get about half on the grip and about half on the top of the racket, so it goes over the edge. And I want to pull fairly snug. I'm going to take another piece. I'm going to kind of clean the whole thing up to get to the top. I'm going to go around like that. And that's how you change the leather grip. All right guys, so that's how you change the leather grip. And I use the vintage racket for this one, but depending on the grip that you have, it's going to be something similar. Again, you want to make sure that you have it secured tight. You don't want to overlap too much, and you want to make sure that you're applying constant pressure as you're pulling that grip. So guys, I've been Coach Daniel for Hammer Tennis. Be sure to do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification. That way you're going to get notified of all the new Hammer Tennis videos coming out. Do us a favor and hit that like button if you like this content, and hit those comments below. If you have any questions about grips or applying grips or anything like that, put those in the comments below. Also, do me a favor and be sure to check out the other videos on the channel. We've got other how-to videos and other gear and equipment reviews. So guys, until next time, catch you later.